the best golfer in the world right now. Scottie Scheffler. No, not you. This is a serious story. Scottie Scheffler was arrested and charged today with assaulting a police officer. He was also charged with 3 other counts. And as you can see in this video, he was arrested this morning outside the PGA Championship in Louisville, Kentucky, where there was a fatal accident earlier. An ESPN reporter was there capturing the whole scene on video, with the police telling him Scheffler was going to jail. Here's what the reporter says happened. Take a listen.
He tried to pull around what he believed to be security, ended up being police officers. They told him to stop. When he didn't stop, the police officer attached himself to the vehicle. Scheffler then traveled another 10 yards before stopping the car. The police officer then grabbed at his arm, attempting to pull him out of the car before Scheffler eventually opened the door, at which point the police officer pulled Scheffler out of the car, pushed him up against the car, and immediately placed him in handcuffs.
Scottie teed off hours later and is playing in today's round. And before he got back on the course, he released a statement saying there was a big misunderstanding and he never intended to disregard any of the officer's instructions. So, Al, what do you think of this and the fact that he's already back on the course?
I think we'll know by the end of the day. I mean, it doesn't hurt that this is a Friday, and in the news cycle, if the police say that they're not going to pursue charges or whatever legalese they say it, and he goes on and has a good weekend, maybe even wins the tournament, this will be forgotten by Monday. But if they don't, if they feel like their officer really was assaulted, if he did do something wrong and they want to make a thing of this, they can really drag it out. But they also have to think about, I'm sure this tournament brings in a ton of revenue for the state and the city, and I don't know if they really want that smoke unless they're absolutely sure an assault went down. So I'm curious to see how they're going to handle it. But I think we'll know by the end of the day for sure.
What's interesting to me is, look, he said his lawyer's now coming out and saying that he was being told by another police officer, come this way. He had his credits on there. He was trying to get to the PGA Tour, and there was a misunderstanding between police.
So you're saying he was in a car marked golf?
Yeah,
yes,
and that there was a misunderstanding. However, this pedestrian that was hit by a bus and unfortunately lost his life was found at around 5. Scottie pulls around at 5:30. That's still a really strong crime scene at that point. And I'm just wondering if he tried maybe to use some privilege. I don't know this. I'm just saying to get around, to of course get in there, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but that's why a police would be so jumpy to jump on his car. And
he does have privilege. He's he's the world's best golfer, so he does have privilege in this situation at a golf course.
There's ambulances there. I get it. Yeah. Like there's always another side to the story, but what gives him the right to just bypass clearly an investigation? Right. I'm not saying.
But what if he thought he was following orders? It seems like they kind of ushered them.
I feel like we're making a lot of excuses. Erica, what are you thinking?
I think, to Al's point, it's a Friday. He birdied in the first round. This story's over.
Yes, that's what I think.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I think so. They put him in the suit and stuff. Like they made him wear the orange jumper. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it's over by any means, right? We're talking about it right now while he's golfing. But I do think there is something to be said. Like, usually these athletes get a police escort, so they're not late. He was there at 5:30. He was supposed to tee off. They pushed everything back, not because of him, because of other reasons. He was supposed to tee off at 7:30, right? I get the understanding of, hey, man, I'm running late and I got to get there and warm up. There's $3 million on the line. I'm the #1 golfer. And I also think there comes with something, Erica, we were talking about putting people on pedestals. I believe this is part of it. I'm the #1 golfer. I need to get where I need to go. I know there's an accident there, but I'm more important and I need to get around. And I think there needs to be something said about that as well.
His mindset, his mentality,
that's the privilege of that.
It's weird to argue, but he is more important.
Than a person, than
I'm not talking.
Okay,
No.
I know. I'm not saying that.
Yes, and I know you're not saying. I'm saying in this situation, the only time where you do have privilege and you are more important is when you are the best person at the thing that everybody is going to. Everybody is going there for you. They're not going there for the guy that's 15th in line.
I'm curious.
She thinks he's right, maybe?
Well, I mean, I think we're more sensitive to it, as we should be, because someone lost their life. That's a separate story. But what Al's saying is 100% true. I mean, if we were talking about Beyonce and we were going to a concert,
wait your turn.
You can't make her stop because we all came for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're right. I feel bad.
Wait, how is she right? She said I was right. You're giving her a proximity right.
Because you never said I was right this morning, and I'm pissed.